After traveling to another world, an otaku transforms into a demon lord and conquers two beautiful girls as slaves. Initially, he doesn't know how to discipline slaves, but when he sees the cat ears of one of the slaves, he remembers the method of discipline a cat. So he pushes the slave to the bed and blows wildly into her ear. Feeling extremely shy, the slave soon gives up resistance. How will he discipline another slave? What will happen between the man and his two beautiful slaves? Like this video, let's reveal the answer in today's recap. The anime begins as an otaku is immersed in playing games at home. Suddenly, he finds himself transported to an entirely different world, where he receives unexpected kisses on the cheek from two beautiful girls. At this moment, he comes to the astonishing realization that he has transformed into the character he controlled in the game he was playing earlier, the demon lord Diablo. Seeing the two enchanting girls standing before him, Diablo realizes that he might have traveled into the game world. It turns out that the two girls used summoning not long ago and inadvertently summoned Diablo to this world. Now the two are arguing over who is the owner of Diablo. Diablo has social phobia in the real world and does not know how to stop the two from arguing. So he plans to pretend to use the tone of the demon lord to order the two not to quarrel. But he doesn't expect that the next moment the two girls would really shake hands and reconcile. With two more collars around their necks representing enslavement, Diablo recalls that he has equipped his game character with a ring that can reflect all magic. The spell summoned by the two girls just now reflected to themselves, and now the two girls are Diablo's slaves. The three introduce each other's identities. The yellow-haired girl is named Shara, the cat-eared girl is named Rem, and Diablo calls himself the Demon Lord. Shara and Rem don't want to be someone else's slaves, and Diablo doesn't want to take advantage. So the three decide to return to the town to find a way to free themselves from slavery. The three find a hotel and stay in the same room. When Diablo is still fantasizing about what will happen with the two beautiful girls at night, Celestine, the president of the Wizards Guild, appears and calls them away. Celestine discovers the slave collars around the necks of the two girls and asks Diablo to disarm the magic. But since it is reflex magic, Diablo doesn't know how to lift it, because Diablo is not good at communicating with people. His tone is relatively indifferent, which upsets the magician behind Celestine, and the two almost break out into a quarrel. Celestine comes to take Rem with her, emphasizing the significance of Rem's life in this world. Nevertheless, Rem is determined not to be confined and firmly declines Celestine's offer. Knowing Celestine has an esteemed status in the game world, Diablo speculates that Rem must have a crucial secret to prevent himself from danger. Once Celestine leaves, Diablo holds Rem to the room with the intention of making the secret out. But Diablo doesn't know how to do it. He can only push Rem to the bed and blows into her ear, which coincidentally is the most sensitive part of her body, and turns her face red. In the end, Diablo bites Rem's ear, and Rem can't stand it and finally confesses her secret. It turns out that Rem's body contains the soul of Krebsholm, the demon lord of this world, and the soul of the demon lord cannot be destroyed. The demon lord will be released as soon as Rem dies. If other demons know about it, Rem will be in a very dangerous situation. Diablo is a gamer himself, so he knows that Krebsholm is the strongest demon lord in this gaming world. Still, he says he will protect Rem. Rem is moved to tears. This is the first time that someone else has not abandoned her after hearing this secret. At night, Diablo goes out alone to take a break, but then he meets the magician who was next to Celestine not long ago. The magician is drunk and wants to make Diablo pay for his previous rude behavior. He summons a warcraft with a level of more than 30. The flames spewed by this warcraft instantly engulf Diablo, and soon Diablo walks out of the sea of flame and despises the warcraft because his level is 150. After raising the wand in his hand to release the skill, Diablo instantly destroys the monster in front of him, which scares the magicians to the side. Perhaps because of Celestine, Diablo spares his life, warns him, and leaves. Upon awakening, Diablo finds his hand resting on the bodies of Shara and Rem, causing both girls to feel extremely shy due to being touched by someone else for the first time. Later, Diablo decides to find a method to expel the demon lord from Rem's body. Nonetheless, in the meantime, they need to earn money for their daily expenses. Therefore, they decide to accept assignments from the Adventurers Guild. This world uses levels to divide the strong and the weak. Rem is a level 40 summoning warlock, but Shara has not yet tested the level, so she presses her hand on the mirror of the Adventurers Guild to rate the level, and finds her level is about 30. When it is Diablo's turn to test the level, the mirror actually produces a violent magic fluctuation, alarming Sylvie, the leader of the Adventurers Guild. Sylvie assumes that Diablo's rank is too high for the mirror to test. At present, there is only one task that can be assigned to Diablo at such a high level, that is, to go to the nearby Warcraft forest to collect the eyes of a snake-like Warcraft. They haven't sensed anything wrong until they get to the forest. Shara relies on the special induction of the elf race and actually senses the breath of humans. Diablo gets vigilant and fires a lot of fireballs nearby under Shara's instructions. The next moment, a lot of elves fall from the trees. It turns out that Shara is the princess of the elf family, and this group of elves is specially ambushed here to bring Shara back. Shara doesn't want to go back, because the elves take her back to force her to marry other tribes, and she doesn't want to marry someone she doesn't like and lose her freedom. Encouraged by Shara's defiant determination against destiny, Rem and Diablo make up their minds to fight to the end. The elves draw their bows and launch arrows, yet Diablo remains impervious to their attacks. Just then, the elves take out a green arrow, and Diablo instantly recognizes it is the low-level equipment in the game and stays calm. In contrast, Shara appears anxious, knowing this arrow is a powerful armor-breaking arrow given by the Elf King and is capable of inflicting serious injuries on its target. However, Diablo sustains a direct hit from the arrow without any harm. Seeing that the elf people on the opposite side still refuse to give up, Diablo uses a large range of ice magic, completely freezing the elves in place. At this time, a magician appears on the side, and it turns out that all this is a trap set by this magician. Diablo warns the magician that there will be consequences if he ever dares to target them. Rem also says that she will go to Celestine to complain, and the magician flees in a panic. At this point, Shara tells the elves that she will never go back and that she is now Rem and Diablo's partner. Diablo is called a partner for the first time, and he is particularly touched. At night, Rem goes to look for Celestine and hasn't come back yet. Only Shara and Diablo are left in the hotel. In this world, girls always worship the strong. Shara has been impressed by Diablo's powerful ability, so she asks Diablo not to only focus on Rem, but also to pay attention to her. She does not want to be captured by the elves. Then she pounces on Diablo, who is a little nervous for a while, and instinctively wants to push Shara away, but touches Shara's body instead, making Shara blush. Just when the two are about to do something, Rem pushes the door and looks at the intimate scene between the two, acting very jealous. The next morning, the trio proceeds to the Adventurers Guild to undertake their next mission. Sylvie informs them that Celestine has assigned an easy and rewarding task to remedy her subordinates' mistakes. However, Rem is reluctant to owe Celestine favors. Therefore, Diablo decides to finish the task with Shara while Rem stays in the Adventurers Guild temporarily. This time the mission is to deliver supplies to a nearby town. Diablo and Shara are about to set off when a blonde man Emile appears next to him. Diablo hears from Emile that he is now seen by others as a perverted demon who kidnaps girls, and Emile comes to save Shara and Rem. Emile is the strongest warrior in the Adventurers Guild, reaching level 50. Without waiting for Diablo to explain, Emile launches an attack, but to confront level 150 Diablo, Emile's attack is useless. In the end, Diablo easily defeats Emile, while Shara and Rem quickly explain the ins and outs to Emile to clear up the misunderstandings. Emile sincerely apologizes and says that Diablo can come to him if he needs help in the future. Not long after, Diablo and Shara arrive in the neighboring town with supplies and notice an air of tension among the soldiers there. Inquiring further, they learn that a group of demons has appeared nearby, seemingly to attack the town. It dawns on Diablo that in the game world, demons often serve as small bosses and rarely appear in groups. He speculates that this group of demons must be aware of Rem's role in sealing the demon lord within her body, intending to assassinate her and free the demon lord. Diablo has planned to go back to Rem's side, but seeing that the soldiers are willing to sacrifice their lives to protect the town for the sake of the people in the town, Diablo finally decides to stay and help the soldiers. At this moment, Celestine finds Rem. It turns out that after she expelled the magician who targets them from the Magician's Guild, he wanted to revenge and sacrificed his life to summon the demon army. Celestine sees the bad situation and flees with Rem. On the other side, the demon army appears, led by a white-haired demon girl named Edelgard. Diablo tells the soldiers to back off to fight alone. With Diablo's powerful strength, this group of demon clans is not an opponent at all, and Diablo defeats dozens of demon clans in a short time. Edelgard can't stand it anymore and decides to confront Diablo. It's just that Edelgard's attack still can't hurt Diablo. Diablo guesses that Edelgard's level is around 80, and Edelgard sees that Diablo is so powerful, she actually sacrifices her life to launch a more powerful attack. Diablo doesn't dodge to let Edelgard attack at will to test his endurance. Diablo finds that he has indeed been hurt a little, but there is no particular pain. Just then, soldiers from the rear arrive with alarming news that Celestine and Rem are under attack by the demons. Realizing that the demons have managed to infiltrate the town, Diablo discards any restraint and unleashes a white ball of gleam in order to leave hastily. As soon as the white ball of gleam lands, a surge of powerful energy erupts, immediately vanquishing all demons before him. Though Edelgard remains alive, her powers are utterly depleted. Without hesitation, Diablo instantly casts teleportation magic to return to the town. At this moment, Celestine and Rem are under attack from the demon, but fortunately, Emile appears and holds it for a while. However, Emile is no match for the demon. Just when they are about to die, Diablo finally arrives. He is irritated when he sees Rem injured, so he unleashes dark magic to suppress the demon and then uses his skills to imprison the demon forever in the dark space. Shara pounces on Diablo, and Rem also steps forward to thank Diablo. Diablo does not know how to respond to the girl's gratitude. He says that because Rem is her slave, he will protect her instead. Unexpectedly, Rem is not angry, but very happy. At this time, Shara says that she is also a slave of Diablo. Diablo has never been treated like this. He is so happy that he faints right away. Because of consuming much more magic this time, Diablo plans to lie in bed and rest for a few days, but doesn't expect Shara to change her clothes and sit on Diablo. Shara hears Sylvie say that as long as she does this, the man will quickly recover his spirits. Rem is very jealous when she sees this scene and immediately hugs Diablo. Before Diablo can enjoy the beautiful girl's hug, Sylvie appears and tells them that the Elf Kingdom has issued an order for them to hand over Shara within 10 days or they start a war against the Human Kingdom. In addition, Shara's brother also issues a sky-high bounty mission to Shara, and Sylvie hopes that Diablo will stop the war. Diablo is agitated. He vows that he will never put Shara in danger. Shara is very touched and hugs Diablo tightly, almost suffocating Diablo. With the goal of settling the war between the two countries, Diablo plans to pay a visit to the town's lord. It's said that the lord possesses immense power, having vanquished numerous demon clans many years ago. Yet, his level remains a mystery. Despite Diablo's intention, the lord isn't inclined to lend a hand. Instead, he reveals that an army of elf tribes numbering around 100 has fallen into an ambush near the town and asks them to solve the problem themselves. Fortunately, to stop the war, the Human King sends a female knight to assist them. Her name is Alicia. Alicia is very good at making friends with others, and within a few moments, she becomes good friends with Rem and Shara, which makes Diablo very envious. Before heading to the forest, Diablo goes to the weapons shop to pick up a lower-level weapon, in case he hurts the innocent elves if his power goes out of control. Diablo is approached by Celestine, who tells them that the owner is said to have known how to crack slave necklaces at the slave market. Diablo considers Shara and Rem as partners, and he decides to go to the slave market to solve the problem of slave collars before settling the war between the two countries. Upon presenting Celestine's recommendation letter, the female owner of the slave market readily consents to assist. However, due to the disarming spell's enigmatic nature, the number of people present is limited. As a result, Shara and Diablo are temporarily left behind. The female owner asks Shara to change into alluring clothes and guides Diablo to examine the magic flow in Shara's body through physical contact. When the moment arrives, she commands Diablo to infuse magical energy into Shara's abdomen, resulting in a remarkably pleasurable sensation that prompts Shara to cry out in delight. All of them return to the hotel at night. Shara's slave magic still exists because of the chaotic flow of magic in her body. Diablo fails to find the root of the slave spell in the first place, and it will take a lot of time to slowly lift it in the future. After understanding the situation, Alicia is about to leave the room and go back to rest. Shara's elf brother Kira appears at the door when a whistle rings, and Diablo immediately angrily questions Kira why he has issued a bounty to his sister. Kira explains that it is just a misunderstanding. He just wants the adventurers to rescue Shara, and it is also a misunderstanding that the Elf King is going to start the war against humans. It is just the Elf King's angry talk. Kira then says that he will give his sister a night to think about it, and if Shara does not plan to go back the next day, he will respect her decision. But if Shara agrees, Diablo can't stop it either. Shara and Rem talk a lot that night, and Shara says that she won't follow her brother back to the Elf Kingdom, and she now regards Diablo and Rem as her family. At the moment, Kira is talking to himself alone in the dark. It turns out that Kira is a pervert who actually fancies his sister and wants to make babies with Shara. On the following day, Alicia and Rem go out with the purpose of notifying the town's lord about the news that the Elf King won't initiate a war, while Diablo and Shara stay in the room. Capitalizing on this opportunity, Diablo dedicates his time to making recovery potions, without noticing that Shara's expression becomes a little sluggish when the sound of the flute appears outside the door. Just then, Diablo discovers Kira's presence downstairs in the hotel. Strangely, Shara suddenly expresses her desire to return to the Elf Kingdom. In accordance with the agreement with Kira yesterday, Diablo cannot reject her as long as Shara expresses her willingness to return. Diablo thinks that Shara has given him the cold shoulder, so he lies in bed alone sadly. Rem tells Diablo that Shara made up her mind last night that she would not be returning to the Elf Kingdom. Perhaps Shara is controlled by psychic magic, and Diablo reminds himself of Kira's flute, and he has already guessed that Shara might have been controlled by Kira. Diablo recalls the recent memories of Shara being together, and he can't give up on Shara as a partner, so Diablo and Rem decide to rescue Shara. At this moment, Shara has been tied up by Kira, and Kira's perverted nature finally breaks out. Kira summons slimes who specialize in eating human clothes, and the slime wraps around Shara's body and gradually eats her clothes up. When Kira is going to do something perverted to Shara, Diablo finally arrives to save Shara. Kira sees that something is wrong and rushes out to call for guards, only to find that his camp has been destroyed by Diablo. Now Diablo just wants Shara to say what she really wants, and Kira also wants to cast a spell to control Shara. At this time Diablo also activates the slave collar and orders Shara to tell her real thoughts. Under the impact of two forces, Kira's magic fails. Shara bares her heart. She wants to be free, and wants to stay by Diablo's side. Seeing that the situation is out of his control, Kira actually performs a forbidden spell and summons the legendary Hydra that can destroy the world. Having no idea of this monster in the game world, Diablo decides to perform a meteorite trick to test Hydra's strength. To his astonishment, although one of Hydra's heads is smashed off by the meteorite, the next moment, it rapidly regenerates another head. Enraged, Hydra launches an assault on its surroundings. Just as Diablo is contemplating a strategy for handling the Hydra's seemingly inexhaustible revival capability, Shara reveals that the legendary Hydra possesses a core within its body. As long as they can destroy the core, it becomes possible to seal the Hydra once more. Knowing the solution, Diablo rushes to the bottom of Hydra's abdomen and launches a powerful lightning spell, which completely destroys Hydra's body in an instant, sealing Hydra again. After solving Hydra, Diablo intends to kill the perverted Kira. Shara steps forward to intercede for the reason that he's her brother after all, and she asks Diablo to spare Kira once. Diablo sees the crying Shara and eventually agrees to let Kira go. The moment Kira walks out, he is killed. The person who does it is the Lord of the Vicinity, who has been secretly observing the situation, and he deliberately allows the two sides to fight and benefits from the tussle as the third party. He also plans to kidnap Princess Shara to wage war against the Elf Kingdom so that he can easily win. The Lord unleashes a high level of confinement magic to trap Diablo. At this moment, the Lord has lost his sanity, even ignores the pleas from the female knight Alicia, and cuts off the sword in Alicia's hand. Diablo realizes that the Lord's level is at least above level 100, and seeing that everyone is in crisis, Diablo finally shows his full strength. He unleashes his magic to defeat the Lord's confinement magic. The Lord seems to have expected such an outcome, and he immediately rushes to Diablo and launches a quick attack with his sword. He knows that as a magician, it is impossible to withstand close fighting. Nevertheless, he still underestimates Diablo, who has trained the skills to counter such tactics in the game world to protect himself from close fighting. Diablo uses a mine to launch an explosive blast and drive the Lord away, and then casts an invisible mine spell on the ground. The Lord attempts to approach using his own body but fails. Capitalizing on this chance, Diablo unleashes a continuous magical attack, ultimately conquering the Lord. However, Diablo spares the Lord's life but lets out the words, "If the Lord dares to attack them again, he will completely destroy him." And in the end, the Lord can only retreat. Shara throws herself into Diablo's arms crying because of her brother's tragic death, and the matter comes to an end. Diablo returns to the hotel to rest since he has consumed too much mana. Sylvie shows up with a bottle of wine. It is said that drinking alcohol can quickly restore magic, and Diablo gets drunk after drinking one glass of wine. He starts to act crazy, mistaking Sylvie for a body pillow. He grabs and caresses her. Just when Sylvie is about to lose it, Diablo falls asleep. Meanwhile, Alicia has returned to the royal capital to report the matter to the Human King. She meets the paladin Sadler when she is going to find Diablo back in town. Sadler says that there has been a recent prophecy that the Demon Lord would be resurrected in the western town when he knows the location Alicia is heading to. He plans to go with Alicia to investigate. At this moment, Shara learns summoning magic under Rem's teaching, and a strange bird is summoned. The bird is not aggressive and can only share the vision with the summoner. Since it's Shara's first shot, she has decided to use the contract stone to complete the master-servant relationship with the bird. Diablo has never seen a contract stone, so he takes one and plans to study it. Just then, Shara finds Rem smells a bit and suggests taking a bath together by the river. Not having swimsuits in this world, girls strip naked and jump into the river. Seeing this, Diablo blushes instantly and has to hide behind a large stone. Overwhelmed with curiosity, Diablo can't resist the urge to steal a glance, only to be startled by a sudden scream from Rem. It turns out that Edelgard from the Demon Clan has captured Rem. Once Shara and Rem have redressed themselves, Edelgard explains her intentions. It turns out that Edelgard has heard that Rem's body is sealed with the Demon Lord, and the reason she keeps Rem alive is that she can't kill the host if she wants to save the Demon Lord, and says that Rem, as the host of the Demon Lord, will enjoy the preferential treatment as the Demon Lord's mother. Clearly, Edelgard knows the way to release the Demon Lord. Although Diablo is worried that he is not the opponent of the Demon Lord in Rem's body, he wants Rem to completely get rid of this trouble. So Diablo and Edelgard agree to meet in a nearby magic tower in 3 days. Edelgard will tell him how to release the Demon Lord when the time comes. They come back to town, and at this time Alicia comes over. Alicia tells them that the Paladin Sadler has also come to the town. Sadler's level exceeds 100 and he is very strong. The point is that Sadler is very perverted. He claims to be the incarnation of the god, and he hates everything about the Demon Lord, and he will kill the one who is related to Demon Lord. Therefore, Alicia expresses her wish for Diablo to remain indoors at the hotel during this period and avoid going outside. However, they still encounter Sadler. In his haste to depart, Diablo unintentionally refers to himself as the Demon Lord, only to quickly realize his mistake after uttering the words. Alicia attempts to brush it off as a poor attempt at humor, but Sadler is undeterred. He can't let go of anything associated with the Demon Lord, even if it's a joke. Confidently, Sadler launches a petrified attack on Diablo, only to have it rebounded due to Diablo's ring of reflective magic. The attack inadvertently petrifies Sadler, causing his companions to take him away in a hasty retreat. Since Alicia has been by their side recently, Rem and Sheriff feel that Alicia is trustworthy, so Rem tells Alicia about the Demon Lord inside her body. Looking at the scene of the 3 girls hugging together, Diablo always feels that something is wrong. 3 days later, the 4 arrive at the magic tower according to the agreement with Edelgard. Edelgard tells them that they need to strengthen the soul of the Demon Lord Krebscombe through the magic array above the magic tower so that the Demon Lord can leave Rem's body. The Demon Lord's soul is hidden deep inside Rem's body, and it takes a cut in Rem's stomach to be rescued by Diablo injecting powerful mana. But then Rem might die, and Edelgard comes up with a way to let Diablo reach out and inject magic in the hole between Rem's legs. Diablo is shocked. He doesn't dare to do such an indecent thing to Rem. However, to completely get rid of the Demon Lord, Rem agrees with her face blushing. At Rem's request, Diablo injects magic into Rem's body with his eyes closed. The next moment, the Demon Lord appears in midair, and Rem asks Diablo to defeat Krebscombe at all costs. Surprisingly, Krebscombe is a little lowly, and just when Diablo is about to fight Krebscombe, everyone discovers that Krebscombe has amnesia, and even forgets why she wants to destroy mankind. Rem and Shara quickly persuade Krebscombe not to follow the same old disastrous road since she can't recall it, and killing is a bad thing. Krebscombe takes their words and decides to give up destroying mankind. Unexpectedly, Alicia is getting upset. She doesn't understand why the Demon Lord decides not to wipe out the mortal. At this time, Krebscombe says that she is hungry, and Shara quickly takes out some cookies for Krebscombe. Krebscombe is very happy after eating. She is enamored with the taste of cookies and wants to eat up the cookies in the world after her resurrection. In this way, they manage to solve the Demon Lord crisis. However, while heading back to the town, they encounter Ulrichs, the subordinate of the previous generation of Demon Lords, and has lived longer than Demon Lords. Knowing that Krebscombe lacks the desire to destroy humanity, he thinks of Krebscombe as an incomplete Demon Lord. As a result, he plans to eliminate the present Demon Lord and resurrect the real Demon Lord. Finding that he is no match for Diablo, Ulrichs decides to sneak up on Krebscombe, but Rem pounces on Krebscombe and saves her. Knowing that there is no chance today, Ulrichs flees. Krebscombe decides to return to town with Diablo. Edelgard goes to a nearby forest to wait for the Demon Lord's call since she is unable to go to the human town. Due to the excessive consumption of mana today, Diablo lies on the bed as soon as he returns to the hotel, and in order to help Diablo recover his spirits, Shara throws herself into Diablo's arms again, and Krebscombe is very curious and hugs Diablo like Shara. With the help of the two, Diablo instantly restores all the mana. At this moment, Alicia is alone in the room. Her true face has finally shown. It turns out that Alicia has been taught by her parents since she was a child. She is used to seeing the evil nature of human beings, so she must find a way to make Krebscombe get her memory back to completely destroy mankind and rebirth this world. After that, Shara takes Krebscombe around every day to enjoy food. Rem gradually accepts Krebscombe. On this day, Diablo and Shara suddenly discover that Krebscombe and Rem are missing. They find no one when they return to the hotel. Diablo has a bad feeling and hurries out to look for them. Meanwhile, Alicia takes Krebscombe and Rem to an alley. She has heard rumors about Krebscombe, the resurrected Demon Lord, being incomplete just with magic. Rem eventually grasps Alicia's true intention is to resurrect the Demon Lord who aims to bring about the destruction of humanity. Upon hearing Alicia mention her incompleteness, Krebscombe boils with rage and threatens to incinerate Alicia. However, Alicia volunteers to become the first human sacrifice for mankind's rebirth. Just then, Sadler, who has managed to counteract the petrification magic, appears. It turns out that Alicia has formed an alliance with Sadler, and Sadler seizes the opportunity for revenge against Diablo by taking Rem away. Sadler brings Rem to a room full of various torture instruments, and he plans to torture Rem. That's when Alicia shows up, and she wants Rem to ask Krebscomb for help. Nobody can stop Krebscomb as long as she makes a move, but Rem turns the offer down, and she does not want Krebscomb to kill again. Diablo has searched for a long time, but there is no sign of Rem. When news comes that a paladin has taken Rem and a little girl to the church in the north, Diablo rushes over. Meanwhile, Sadler is tormenting Rem. Seeing this, Krebscomb is boiling with rage, compelling her to take action. However, Sadler swiftly repels Krebscomb's attacks, sending her crashing away. Krebscomb's demonic nature becomes exposed as her clothes are torn, mistaking her for a little girl. Sadler is caught off guard when she realizes Krebscomb's true identity, leading him to kill her. Just then, Rem manages to break free from her restraints and interposes herself between Krebscomb and blocks Sadler's attack using her body. Sadler perceives Rem as an obstruction and impales her with swords. This act triggers an overwhelming fury within Krebscomb and changes her into the Demon Lord. Only then does Sadler realize that arousing her hatred is the key to fully awakening the Demon Lord. With her original form restored, Krebscomb releases immense energy in a strike and completely destroys Sadler. At this moment, Diablo also sees Krebscomb's magical glow, and he gives Shara some healing potions, telling Shara to rescue Rem, while Diablo goes to fight the runaway Krebscomb. At this moment, Edelgard and Ulrich appear outside the town with the demon army. Alicia shows up to join them. It turns out that Alicia has long formed an ally with Edelgard, and they plan to create someone important to Krebscomb and destroy it. Now the plan is about to succeed, and real Demon Lord will be resurrected very soon. At this time, Diablo has confronted Krebscomb, who is completely out of control. Krebscomb is worthy of being the most powerful demon lord in this world. Her destructive power is astonishing. She is unharmed even if she encounters Diablo's magic reflection. To protect the surrounding humans, Diablo does not dare to use powerful spells, but only passively dodges. At this moment, Shara finds Rem, and uses up all the healing potions to finally save Rem's life, and the two rush to the scene to watch the fight between Diablo and Krebscomb. Eventually, Diablo comes up with an idea to confront Krebscomb. He swiftly lays out a powerful magic array while running. As the moment arrives, he launches the magic array, causing a huge magic glow to envelop Krebscomb. However, in the next moment, Krebscomb stands up once more. With Shara's assistance, Rem beckons to Krebscomb. She gently stretches out her hand to enchant Krebscomb, reassuring her that everything has come to an end. Krebscomb can return and share cookies. In an instant, Krebscomb's huge body begins to shatter. She regains her senses and transforms back into a lowly. Embracing each other tightly, the three girls share tears of relief and joy. Edelgard, outside the town, notices that Krebscomb's aura has weakened, and already guessed that Krebscomb is not going to destroy humanity. She decides to follow the Demon Lord's order, asking Alicia to run, while she will launch a sneak raid on Ulrich, who is still intending to attack the town. After the crisis is resolved, Sylvie comes to tell everyone that Krebscomb is too dangerous to be staying in the human town, but Krebscomb doesn't want to part with them. Diablo notices the slave collar around Shara's neck. She could stay here if he makes Krebscomb his slave. With the persuasion of Shara and Rem, Krebscomb finally agrees to become Diablo's slave, and Diablo shouts the contract stone and kisses Krebscomb on her lips. The contract is made, and Krebscomb becomes Diablo's slave. The group returns to the hotel in the town, and just as Alicia rushes out and kidnaps Shara, threatening Krebscomb to save the injured Edelgard, because only the Demon Lord is able to heal the demons. Krebscomb intervenes to save Edelgard, and Alicia sees that Edelgard is okay and finally lays down her weapon and leaves it at everyone's disposal. Upon learning about Alicia's experiences, Diablo realizes that her experience is very similar to his past encounters. Both of them have confronted the dark aspects of human nature, but Diablo commits to being himself, impervious to external influences. He persuades Alicia to just live the best version of herself. Rem and Shara also extend their forgiveness to Alicia, offering her a chance for reconciliation. Touched by them, Alicia eventually comes around and returns to the friend group. Just then, Diablo almost falls into a coma due to extensive mana consumption. Instantly, all 5 girls rush to him, eagerly offering their bodies to restore his magical strength. Diablo has embarked on a joyful chapter of his life. Here brings the end of this anime. In this anime, Alicia and Diablo make different choices after facing a series of humiliations. Alicia believes that they should completely destroy all the bad people and things, rebuilding a new world, but Diablo believes that they should insist on being themselves despite the influence of the outside world. What's your opinion? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comment area. Well, that's it for today's recap. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye!